Hey everybody, what's happening? It's Steven
and Spencer.
We are continuing our presentation on e-cigarette and pod-based systems 101, Big Tobacco Reinvented, as we continue in our Stanford University Tobacco Prevention Toolkit. We're going to jump right into part 2 of the Big Tobacco Reinvented.
So, along with the harms of nicotine on its own, we know there are other health risks from using these products, and these products being the e-cigarettes and vape pens. The e-cigarette aerosol enters the lungs and leaves chemical residue behind. The lungs cannot break down these chemicals, so they damage air pathways and the air sacs that bring oxygen into the body. And over time, this can increase the risk of lung disease. Also, the aerosol has also been shown to damage specific parts of your circulatory system or blood network, increasing your risk for heart disease. Ear, eye, and throat irritation is also common amongst e-cigarette users and vapors. And scientists are still studying how these aerosol chemicals affect or can impact the brain. And we are only beginning to understand the long-term health effects of using e-cigarettes. It took well over 25 years to see the long-term impacts from smoking tobacco cigarettes because the damage done on the body isn't always noticeable right away. So every chemical found in an e-cigarette aerosol has not been studied in detail yet. Researchers have identified harmful substances in the aerosol. Some are even known to cause cancers. So we wish we could tell you all the ways that e-cigarettes are harmful, but the truth is we can't yet, guys. They are so new and researchers can't fast forward into the future, so all the long-term consequences of these products are impossible to predict as of yet.
In a recent study on e-cigarettes, found that using them raises someone's risk of developing long-term lung disease. This means someone using e-cigarettes for a few years could develop bronchitis, which is the inflammation or irritation of the major airways in your body. These airways are responsible for exchanging the air in and out of your lungs. Then there's emphysema, which can also develop over time using e-cigarettes. Emphysema is the destruction of the air sacs in your lungs, which is the common disease that long-term cigarette smokers have developed. The alveoli is the air sacs in your lungs that are the place in your body where fresh oxygen is delivered and carbon dioxide is removed, so they're extremely important. Other lung diseases linked to e-cigarette use includes asthma, chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, which is COPD. And those who use e-cigarettes and cigarettes are at an even higher risk of developing lung disease and heart disease compared to someone only using e-cigarettes or cigarettes. Damaging the lung tissue can lead to multiple other health complications. Less oxygen in the body can be sent to the brain, and less oxygen then being sent to the organs and tissues in the body.
So the evidence that e-cigarettes, including products like the Juul, which is very popular right now, increases cardiovascular or heart disease or heart risk is piling up. So the heart is the center for pumping blood throughout a complex network of blood vessels in the body. These blood vessels are responsible for delivering fresh oxygen to organs or tissues. Your cells need oxygen to survive and to work properly. Scientists have discovered that e-cigarette aerosol from using or breathing in secondhand aerosol can impair the function of blood vessels by making them stiff. This stiffness can decrease blood flow throughout the body and lead to blood clotting. So breathing in the aerosol from the e-cigarette, even if you aren't the one using it, can lead to blood vessel stiffness and possibly affect your ability to move fresh oxygen to your brain, muscles, and other parts of your body. So ultimately, blood vessel stiffness and blood clotting can increase somebody's risk for heart disease or heart attack.
So the risk for a heart attack. Yeah, your risk for a heart attack is determined by many factors such as your genetics, your environment, and your lifestyle. Factors that play a role in your risk for heart attack include your family history, your race, where you live, what kind of air you're breathing in, what you eat, how much you exercise, and your overall lifestyle. Choosing not to use tobacco or nicotine reduces your overall risk for heart attack or heart disease. Let's imagine the chance of having a heart attack is represented by a dice. And the higher total rolled represents the higher chance of developing heart disease. Someone who does not use e-cigarettes or cigarettes is only rolling with one dice. Now imagine that this person starts using e-cigarettes every day. Their chances of having a heart attack would now double. This is a fairly similar amount of damage to the heart as someone who is smoking cigarettes every single day. This is one reason e-cigarettes are not considered safer than regular cigarettes. They both release ultrafine particles and toxins that damage blood vessels, they encourage blood clotting, and they can lead to heart attacks. Let's complicate this story a little further by assuming that this person starts using cigarettes as well, whenever they don't have access to their vape. So not only are they using regular cigarettes, but they're using e-cigarettes as well. Now they are using both of these. This would increase their risk for heart attack by 5-fold. In other words, they are now gambling with 5 dice. On the bright side, this works the other way as well. The chance of having a heart attack can drop immediately after quitting cigarettes. It can also drop after using e-cigarettes as well. Someone could take action right away to protect their heart by stopping any use of cigarettes or e-cigarette use.
So if we take apart these devices, it's important to consider how each component will impact a young person's health. The plastic mouthpieces coming in direct contact with the mouth, heavy metal parts are being heated up and degrading over time, and cartridges are being disposed of in the environment. This raises concerns in the question of how do all these parts affect your body and your community as well. Jewel pods, for example, are single-use plastic pods, and like plastic straws, they take many years to break down and ultimately create more waste. Because pod-based e-cigarettes can leak heavy metals and residual nicotine, they are considered to be biohazard and e-waste. So we share this concern for all people using e-cigarettes.
There are many reasons why young people start using these devices. There are flavors, changing social norms, life stressors, perceived reduced risk as compared to using regular cigarettes, the marketing, and the lack of addiction education. That's one of the reasons we bring you these videos. The industry is smart, and their approach focuses on these 3 points to push their agenda and attract young people like yourselves.
So the e-cigarette and vape pen industry knows that many of their customers are getting older and need to be replaced with new customers so they can make more profits. And this is the same thing that the tobacco industry has done for many years. And
so as we continue, we want you to realize that the people that are going to replace the older generation, it's you. It's young people like you. And the e-cigarette and vape pen industry sees young people as the perfect replacement customers. They know if a young person can get hooked on their products early in life, they will have customers for years to come, if not decades. It's well known by health professionals and the e-cigarette and tobacco industry alike that many current smokers started smoking before they were 18 years old. So if you take a closer look at e-cigarettes and vape pens marketing, you'll notice the industry's attempts to make e-cigarette and vape pens trendy and appealing to young people.
So earlier we discussed how pod-based companies have fruity and sweet flavor pods along with colors. So why would there be over 15,000 different e-juice flavor options? It's important to be aware that this is another example of the pod-based companies following well-known advertising strategies from Big Tobacco's playbook. They know that flavors are a great way to attract young customers because they are the group most interested in sweet flavors and bright colors. This tactic is so effective that flavored cigarettes have been banned since the year 2009, and since extensive research shows that they are more appealing to young people. The pod-based companies, along with other e-cigarettes, have yet to be regulated in that way, but we're moving towards that, guys. More and more evidence is piling up, proving that these flavors are dangerous in and of themselves. So far as we know, the flavors can impact lungs and increase risk for heart disease. But pod-based companies continue to use them because they know it makes their products more appealing and seems safe to teens.
So when it comes to marketing, what audience do you think that this ad is targeting? Obviously, with this ad, we see a couple of different things that let us know that this is geared towards somebody that's pretty young. For instance, it's a young woman who is wearing pretty hip clothes. She is wearing a Letterman jacket. She's got her hair in a ponytail, and even the way that her body is postured. These are all advertisements that are basically geared towards young people. It's a youthful appearance. And then you see this other ad campaign, and this is a different e-cigarette brand. This person, if you've paid attention to the news, might resemble somebody that you've seen, and that's totally fine. But there's a difference and a reason they market differently towards different groups of people and different brands. So one of the reasons that we talk about this is because their marketing and their strategy is to get you as soon as they can, because if they do have you right now with your brain developing, they will continue to get you to be a long-term user.
Mm-hmm. So there has been increasing concerns about how young people have been targeted by these pod-based companies on social media. For example, young social media influencers and other third-party influencers were paid by Juul Labs and other vaping companies to make juuling or vaping look cool. Here's a comment from one social media influencer who Juul Labs paid to promote their product to young people. It said, "They like my edgy style and that I appealed to the younger market." After Juul stopped paying influencers to post their content, they promoted the device on social media in other ways, including commenting on people's posts and sharing discount codes, so a way to get stuff for free or cheaper. Even after Juul shut down its Instagram page, they still have an active account that is being tagged and posts daily. That's really important to remember, guys. They may have stopped using their Facebook or their Instagram page, but they're being tagged and post still, which means it's still active. Many social media accounts post videos of young people using these products while giving shout-outs to Juul and other pod-based brands.
Absolutely. And so, another thing are the problematic memes and cartoons that are also being distributed via Twitter, which give the youth the impression of using such items is okay. So, what is this ad saying to young people? And this one makes me laugh because it says, "I'd rather lose my Juul than use you." It's a very lame attempt at a Valentine card. And then I believe this one here is a Juul being used to propose. So these are all simple things, big moments that most of us will realize immediately. And then we have this one. And if you can't see this one says Juul pods 25 miles to the left and water a quarter mile to the right. And the person here is actually going towards the Juul pods. So the human value, Juul treating the symbol of love and making room for it in our culture, and then not taking addiction seriously is extremely beneficial when it comes to their marketing techniques. That's what they're trying to get you to do. They want you to know that it's valuable, they want you to know that it's culturally relevant, and they don't want you to take too seriously the addiction, as they've shown in these quick memes.
So some of the brands behind these new products are actually the same corporations that produce traditional cigarettes. The company that sells Newports also sells Blue. Marlboro used to sell Mark 10, and Camel sells Views. They have kept up with products like Juul by releasing their own pod-based e-cigarettes. Basically, these big tobacco corporations are replacing their old cigarette customers with new customers around your age, and they hope to keep for a lifetime by promoting a new product.
Absolutely. And so what we want to do now is we want to review a couple different points, different ways that the pod-based device companies, especially Juul, have shown themselves to be big tobacco reinvented. So what big tobacco tactics have pod-based companies used? They formulate their products to deliver as much nicotine as smoothly as possible to their customers. They introduce flavored products that are known to be attractive and harmful to teens. And they use marketing strategies that are known to attract young people as well. There are numerous big tobacco strategies that these companies have used that we don't even have time to cover right now. If you're still not convinced that pod-based companies are simply reinventing big tobacco's addictive recipe, we can't really blame you, since these companies go through a lot of effort and spend a lot of money to make their motives seem like they're being honest. They claim that e-cigarettes are designed for those who want to quit smoking or reduce their use of tobacco use, but a recent study at Dartmouth University of Medicine revealed that every adult who uses vaping to quit smoking, 80 young people start using e-cigarette products like Juul. Here's one fact that you should know. Back in 2019, Altria, the leading United States cigarette manufacturer, purchased 35% of Juul for a significant amount of money, up in the billions. And Altria is the parent company to Philip Morris, the maker of Marlboro cigarettes. Now there's no doubt that big tobacco is in this, and it stands to make billions of dollars profiting from an addicted young customer base.
So guys, that'll do it for our presentation today. That's the second part. Again, if you guys have any questions about this, please feel free to give us a call. Me and Stephen would love to talk to you about this if you want to, if you're willing to. Our phone number is 209-257-1980. Listen for my extension, Spencer Dutchke or Stephen Hartman. And always too, but guys, please check out our YouTube page at youtube.com/Nexus Youth and Family Services. And as always, guys, stay healthy and stay safe.